So we have a couple examples here about aggregating supply and demand curves. So let's get right to it. This first example has two supply curves. You can tell because it's a positive p-value. And so the way you add supply and demand is adding the Q's. So the total Q, let's put T there for total, equals Q1 plus Q2. And in this case, it's very easy. We've already got Q1 and Q2. So Q1 equals 20 plus P, and then we add Q2 to that, which is 40 plus 2P, and we get Q total equals 60, 20 plus 40, plus P plus 2P, so that's plus 3P. So the total supply for this market will be 60 plus 3P. Now here's another example, this time with demand curves, and you'll notice that instead of having Q solved for Q in each example, they are solved for P. This is called an inverse demand curve because we switch the order of Q and P. So in order to add these two together, we need to solve for Q1 and Q2 like we did in the first example. So we'll do this for the equation on the left first. Bring the 2Q1 to the other side. It's 100 minus P. So Q1 equals 50 when you divide by 2 minus P over 2. And then we can do the same thing on this side. And Q2 equals 40 minus P over 3. So now we have our two demand curves, each solved for Q1 and Q2. This is exactly what we want. So we can say Q total equals Q1 plus Q2, and that equals 50 minus P2, P over 2, sorry, plus 40 minus P over 3. We get Q total equals 90, and then P over 2 and P over 3, those will add up to 5 over 6 P. So this is our Q total, and the key thing to remember here is you add after you've solved for quantity 1 and quantity 2. So if you get an inverse demand or supply curve, you just need to remember to solve for Q before you add.